Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered just exactly how loud the exhaust is on a Jaguar F Type? I mean, we know it's loud. Take a listen to this. But loud doesn't really narrow it down. So today we're going to use science and find out just exactly how loud that thing is. If you're not already, please think about dropping a subscribe to the channel by hitting that button below and stay tuned. So we're going to do things a bit scientifically today, rather than just seeing how much it pops our eardrums. We're going to use one of these, a decibel meter, and what this does, it measures sound or noise. We're going to set this up behind the car using very scientific measurement, and we're going to see exactly how loud this registers. Now, just a quick run through of this. It measures ambient sound and it will show you on this bottom number here the peak. So if we shout, it will measure the peak and hold it and show you where it reaches at its max sound. So with this set up behind the car, let's see exactly how loud it is. But is this even important? Why do we need to know scientifically how loud this is? Well, for anyone who's ever been to a track day or to a racetrack, taken their pride and joy round that track, chances are you've been through scrutineering. Scrutineering will check a car's appropriacy for track, through safety, all the way through to noise regs. And they will measure the sound of your exhaust at a set RPM range, usually about 4,000, to make sure that they're not annoying their neighbours and causing too much noise disturbance. I've got the GoPro set up next to the decibel meter. I've had to resort to a slightly more beefy microphone than usual because I just know for a fact the built-in microphone, either on my lapel mic or the GoPro there, is just going to get obliterated by this exhaust. So let's do a start, then we'll do with the exhaust valves closed, and then we'll open them up and let it rip. So we're set up in our highly scientific experiment, ready to go. I think first we're just going to take an ambient background noise. As you can hear, we've got a road there. We have an airfield just over here, which I don't know if the microphone's picking that up. We are at glorious Goodwood yet again. So let's take a background noise, just so we know what we're working with, bit of a baseline, and then we'll get her fired up. So before I start talking, we can see we're at about 57 decibels there. Let's get the car started. So we've got everything set up. We've got Mrs. GB in the driver's seat, who's kindly volunteered to help me in my shenanigans today. Do you want to give it a start? Nice. 104.7 at 1 meter. That's pretty loud just for a start. For reference, 30 decibels is a whisper. That was really creepy. I promise I'll never do that again. 50 decibels is about normal conversation volume. 70 decibels is about equivalent to a hairdryer, and 80 is about the equivalent of having your volume up all the way on the radio. 110 decibels is heavy construction equipment. You're beginning to see this isn't linear. It does get quite quickly very loud. And 120 decibels is about the same as a jet plane taking off. I know, it's not a jet plane, but it's the best I could come up with at short notice. And 130 is about the equivalent of a gunshot. So that was a warm start, not in dynamic mode. Do you want to give it a rev with the valves closed? Nice. Only marginally more, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. Okay, and now the one that everybody's been waiting for. Do you want to pop it into dynamic and give it a rev? Now at this point, I've got to do the responsible thing and warn anybody wearing headphones or with the volume up loud just to proceed with caution, because this gets loud. Wow. $116.9. That's less than I thought it was going to be. So for all those people that are probably minded exactly like me, the car is warm, we're not doing this cold, I'm not a lunatic, I'm pretty happy with that. We've established that in dynamic mode, this thing is about as loud, almost, as a plane taking off. I would consider that an absolute win. What about inside the car though? Let's have a look at the different driving modes from in the cabin. So normal driving with the exhaust closed. You can see it's about 70 decibels. I think I'm actually adding more noise than the cabin volume is. So now we've got the exhaust valves open. So with the valves open, we can see that's about 81.5 decibels. So effectively, the cabin volume with the exhaust open, giving it the beans, is about the same as having your radio up full volume in the car. All told, I think Jaguar have done quite well. That's not a horrendous noise level for comfortable driving, but when you open the valves, it does turn into a different animal altogether. Now the question on everybody's lips, what about the cabin volume through a tunnel? Oh, that was good. So pretty interesting set of numbers. I think quite concerningly to anybody who wanted to take their car on track, their F Type. For an example, Silverstone has a noise limit of 102 decibels at 4,000 RPM. If you're going to have your car in dynamic mode, you probably will get pulled off the track with their microphones they've got around the place for being a little bit too loud, so you would have to possibly drive past those areas at least, not in dynamic mode. And you're going to find that even more difficult at places such as Thruxton, where they have a 90 decibel limit. So I think the key is either to not have your car with the exhaust open, or make sure that you're under those drive-by limits in those key areas. So there we have it, the noise levels of an F Type, backed by science-ish. If you haven't already, guys, do think about giving a subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down the bottom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. You know, I don't even know if my stride is a meter. I've got no way of measuring it. Let's just, for the purposes of science, let's assume it is.